waiting yet again, and let's get into the action. Of course, all eyes still on Moist Esports. We have to talk about the trades yet again. We notice, especially the week moving forward, Pricey, when he was added in, they swapped out the Newcastle that Jar was playing before. They played that stage, and they just absolutely dominated scrims, as we've seen in the community scene. One thing I noticed also a little bit unfortunate for 2M and K1 pad, and only one guy, so it's hard to expect them to really put up a big effort here. Perhaps later on we'll get more from them. Beyond that, though, we're watching Dewa United. At the very least, I believe they should be playing Barometer, which was one of our circles a while ago. And here for Dewa, at least just continue on. I think for Group C, the test right now here, Genome, is can they endure more of these matches moving forward?
Yeah, now just watching those drop zones quickly there, Dax. So MDY, they don't land in Jurassic Park. They are contesting Command Center. So we're having a look at 505 here. In the channel where they discuss these things, they were actually going back and forth. And the last we heard from them, they wanted to go towards Jurassic Park. But Command Center was also one of the options. So they've ended up there. And I can tell you that they have... not ended up with a lot. I can see one of them with a Mozambique currently. Casa is running around with a car which had almost no reserve ammo in it. So they've made their way to the top of ski lift. So and I think Buriram United have already looted that area as well. So this is just going to be complete shambles for MDY.
Yeah, Buriram has been around the area. Cascade Falls absolutely occupied here by Moist even. So overall, where does MDY go? It's more of that question, what does MDY do today now with the full set? What kind of impact should they have into the game? There's so much leeway because of the system that you can have one bad week, sure, but you need to start performing to the next one. So there you have it. Circle is, the ring rather here is going to be already established, and immediately southeast side towards Gale Station, towards Launchpad. Gale Station abandoned by many squads, but RTL is the one taking a foothold of it instead.
Yeah, okay. So this circle's, it's probably going to land somewhere in the southeastern side of what we're seeing here, inside that dotted circle. So as you say, yeah, look, maybe RTL have a chance here. Certainly, I think have they already done the IMC Armory, or are they going to do it now? Either way, that's an option for them. And then other teams, might decide to stick closer to Launchpad. I think that's also a reasonable option, and Ath are currently sitting up the top on the catwalk there, which, if you ever get a circle that lands deep into Launchpad, is just a fantastic place to be. Moist. Chucking a couple of grenades here, raining hell from above.
Yeah, MDY, they decided to go on foot. And this allows Moist to actually take a better position right in front of them. Now they can play a bit of the gatekeep. They have the better armor even, but for Moist, the priority is to get in position, as is the rest of this squads. I'm looking at SRY right now, flying by. They went through that small little cavern. Now they're going to be right outside Launchpad, where At is basically awaiting. And really, SRY, honestly, a little personal in my case. I know Yalis for quite a while already. He gave me a lot of info too on all of this to prepare for, so big shoutouts to him. But SRY, they decided to go for Fish Farm. We also get Gale Station now under heavy assault by many squads here,
Yeah, a lot just taking up their positions down there. But look, there's probably enough real estate both there and at Northpad that we're having a look at here for these teams to sort of make their way. I mean, look, SRY obviously wasn't one of the teams that we saw in our first series today. So, was there anything in particular that you're expecting out of them that with that info that came through from Yas, as they've just found, unfortunately, the solo August Dream, who I would imagine is going to have a tough time.
Yeah, that's going to be unfortunate for August Dream. Dream of at least having a team here.
See ya, buddy.
The K1 pad. Nice try. Good night for now. But one thing I've noticed instead about SRY, to kind of criticize their approach, they're really good at getting in position. They're very potent at getting at the spot that they need to. We've seen that before last weekend, but Yanlis mentioned to me, the war of attrition, I think I talked about before. Supplies come at a cost, especially with these kind of comps. And that's what cost them that one game here on Storm Point, when they just basically got overrun by the now on the esports. So really, for a team like SRY, a team like I'd say, Savior Squad with Hermagad. Those are the kind of teams that know how to play those placements that I mentioned before, but they need to keep an eye out how many things they still have in reserve for the late game.
War of attrition, yeah, a battle of meds, of ammo, of how much you can get your hands on. We saw a little bit of Loba, one of the legends that helps out with that. Obviously, a lot of Watson around as well, who's another one who can sort of save you, save you some shields in that sort of sense. T4 gonna be pretty happy with the fact that they got 1 dub out of 6. To be honest, in that first series today, have been impressed in how they played that. But you can see now that they are in a very interesting position, just hiding in the bushes.
They're part of the rock guard. Bushwalkie.
Surprise!
Can you fit 3 people in a bush?
Yeah, apparently. Apparently. Yep.
Who's jutting
Big
out?
bush.
Who doesn't have the right camouflage? Who's not rocking a green screen? Come on. But yeah, you mentioned it. T4, one of the most, I'd say, welcome surprises we've had all day. We always want to see some of these teams perform well, especially if they're basically from the qualifiers and whatnot. It really just goes to show that, while T4, I believe they were invited at the very end of Group C. We've had some teams like Emmanuel, we have some teams like, of course, Boogie Borders a while ago, and these teams that kind of defy these expectations early on, they can make their names and be one of the mainstays, especially for the regional finals. I'm looking at Gale Station though. So many squads, I think it's at 5 of them just watching out for each other. You mentioned a while ago, RTL, they went for the armory. Now they're stuck there because you got Buriram United as well as Dreamfire waiting on the outside. And seems like just really the waterways, heavily fortified area banking on the southern circle to come.
Yeah, we can see Chambers there getting some info with that drone. Obviously, when everyone's shoved into buildings like this, it's a prime target for an EMP. You are going to charge up armors very fast with that ultimate at 50 damage a pop. You often see if teams have actually been here for long enough and they know that there's a couple of crypto drones flying around, they will throw those armors on the floor. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, if you do it early enough, it has to be like 10 seconds though, you can actually avoid taking damage on the armors. But secondly, if you drop it early enough, you're also, it doesn't count as damage towards their armor as well. So you're denying them those Evo upgrades.
Yeah. When it's like poke style and you're at least removing their only real win condition moving forward for the future, then okay. Then it's an advantage that you can actually have in your spot. And well, that's really this whole playstyle, this whole zone gameplay. Just okay, stay here, fortify, bank on the ring to come your way, and of course catch out anyone mid-transition, take that kind of opportunity. Speaking of opportunities, MDY is still alive somewhere in the center of all of this. They do still have white armor. They're absolutely just begging for a handout by this point, or an engagement to go for the upgrade. You got Moist also looking for a bit of combat. They already spot in front of them. That's gonna be Ats just across the map here.
Yeah, MDY on that kind of welfare grind, unfortunately, this game. Do they even have the beacon knowledge? No, they don't. So they don't have... oh, sorry. They don't have loot. They don't have information. They've really just got their lives to hold on to. And you know what they say? If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So at least they've got... That's the one thing they've got to hold on to for the moment.
Health makes wealth. Come on. We're all rich with having our fulfilling lives. Actually, not sure about mine, but anyway, we got Moist still watching around. SRY2, we've seen Yanli's actually rock the longbow for quite a while. He's done it before. I think he was having a few skirmishes also against Dreamfire, if I wasn't mistaken. And well, the crypto drones, it really has become that kind of standstill. So apparently, as ENZ versus Ants, they're getting into it.
Yeah, it was Kentung. He tried to get away with his castle wall. This is happening up the north here, outside the circle. But even after using that ultimate purely defensively to get back to his team, they still catch him off. So DNZ have got 1 down now, and they're looking to try and grab the last 2. But Holiday and Yu, gotta say, they weren't particularly compassionate towards their teammate and have left him behind at the drop of a hat.
Well, sometimes better one than none. And in this case, better two than feeling blue. I'm just making rhymes by this point.
Nice.
I was just gonna say, honestly, before that, it feels like we're back to last weekend. We had, okay, A and B, kind of like this. A and C, a little more action, but here B and C, I guess we play the waiting game until the ring forces the hand of many. I'm interested that there's still those launch pad holdouts, around 3 of them here. You got ADL, you have 505, you have they feel like that this can actually go their way, but as soon as they get that information, they're going to be walking into the hands of Moist Esports and of MDY, who are in position. MDY, sure, not well looted. Maybe that can give them the chance to fight back and get back into the game in terms of, you know, the economics of their arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in that position, you're kind of hoping that you can just kind of... oh, is that a collat? Oh, no, it might have just been the... I was about to say gun shield, but surely there's not a Gibraltar in the lobby, is there?
You're making me check. You're making me check. No, there's...
No. Okay, there's not.
Interesting, DNZ has the
actually,
horizon.
no, it might have been the Newcastle wall.
Oh, wait, there is! There's a Gibby! 505 has a Gibby! Yeah.
Oh my god, it is! Axilic, yeah.
A wild Gibby appeared.
My eyes did not deceive me. Axilic for 505, actually bringing it back. And I mean, I think one of the reasons we're probably not seeing Gibby as much is because of some of those economy reasons that you were talking about before. You know, Gibby doesn't necessarily give you as much back as a defensive legend like Watson does with her pylon. So yeah, either way, it's nice to see the big man back in action.
I think for Gibby, it's just a different ideology of defense. I'm looking at it, it's a bit more reactive. You throw the shield when you need it. You throw the defensive bombardment when you need it. And compare it to the Watson, where you set it up, and you basically have home turf. And Newcastle, in the meantime, you have basically ways. You still have mobility. You have ways to get back into your fortifications. And for me, that's one of the reasons why the Gibby has fallen off for these kind of defensive comps. It does seem like, especially with how the last few splits have gone, right? Gibby, more on the offensive side, can really help out a team wanting to engage even in desperate territory.
Okay, next ring's up. Looks like SRY, who we jumped on with earlier, are in a pretty damn good spot. The IMC is still going to be in, so that's props to RTL. And then Dreamfire showing us their new style as a fast rotate team, who have time and again really picked up these spots very, very well. So we haven't seen them in as many, as many fights as we're used to, so they're picking up less KP and not necessarily just running over the lobby, but it's good to see that they've certainly got a good idea of how to play this game when they need to, go for that sort of fast rotate style.
Yeah. Moist Esports still having a bit of a duel versus DNZ. In the meantime, Fish Farm actually, I believe the ADL Wolves, they flew in, and you can see that they're contending here versus Buriram United. Jackute already down the Wades of the Waters. The Wolves, though, still up with 1. Perhaps a bit of a reset thanks to the pylon giving them that cover, but Buriram United, if they get that intel, they can actually go for it. Now they know where ADL is stationed. Slide on in, quick little shot even as the Peacekeeper is coming. The Wingman trying to go for the fight, but yet guaranteed eliminated off screen, but it's ADL Wolves. They flew too close to the fish farms and they drowned in it thanks to Buriram.
And you can see the nerves coming through there, just the sheer panic of the full send of the other team. And that just meant that ADL Wolves missed a lot of wingman shots there, but to be fair, it was a 3v1, probably wasn't going to happen anyway. Okay, well, that's another team down, 15 squads we do have here. A lot of coming from the north, even teams like Moist, who didn't necessarily find their way into this circle. But Hermagerd also looking for a spot and kind of struggling right now. It's all on Bigsy.
Oh my god, still fighting Big Z. Can he do it here? Truth in the meantime, watching out as much as possible. Here we go. At least Big Z finding a bit of that reset, but oh my god, they got absolutely stuck here. Watched out now by Emmanuel. Watched out for by Truth as well as T4. But oh my god, they get a bit of a leeway because Truth is fighting T4 right now. But here comes Emmanuel. Do they spot him? They're going past him. Big Z! Big Z's just watching Emmanuel they're just watching them transition as Truth Esports still causing so much chaos. Big C finally finding that conflict in a 1v1 situation as this all happens, and Hermagad will eventually be eliminated. What a situation. Well, how did they miss him the first 2 times?
Yeah, Chambers didn't spot him out with the crypto drone in the end, but the recon character, the recon legend does get the info and get the kill in the end. Truth, they seem to be caught off guard a little bit by T4 having the little house on the hill set up there. So they trade some shots, and as you can see, they're kind of locked in against each other, but they're going to have to make their way out eventually. Neither of these teams are within the next zone. They're going to have to bulk ult pretty far to the right, frankly, if they want to get anywhere. Nutsuru Sama, he's got the Sentinel in his hands, and it's always a fun time. You can see with a down, he's looking for more.
Yeah, Truth Esports, probably one of the teams with some of the best chemistry here nearby for so long already together, especially between Nutsuru Sama as well as Saiyajin God. They are going to go for T4, though. They were taking it back the first time around, but this time they're going to go for the executes. Oh, complete the hug, the left-hand side, trying to take the opportunity here versus T4, but T4 still holding strong, holding steadfast, unwilling to give up the rock garden that they have built here. This is Tapstray's masterpiece, and no one will touch T4 for now. Rudine, in the meantime, going after Truth, and it's Truth Esports after those long rotates actually hurting here as T4 will decide to just fly on out. Can they make it in time? Seems like they do.
Yeah, well, Truth have gone from the ground route. Hasn't worked out particularly well for them. T4 took to the skies, and it was barely any better. They have a Skerrick of health between all 3 of them. Mosu has a Skerrick of health just by himself. Meanwhile, DNZ are trying to hold this down against, this is T4 and also SRY, actually. All 3 teams crowding around this building. DNZ is going to be the first to fall, and then it looks like T4 are thinking about bringing this fight even further, but also down at the fish farms, Buriram have already repelled 1 team from it, and they're looking to do a second.
They're just farming these guys. They're treating them like fishies. And Buriram United, apparently, they know the livelihood here at the very end. Emmanuel, they are caught in the net of Buriram United, and they are happy to still call Fish Farm their home. While this all happens, SRY, I believe they will be eliminated here by T4. They got the reset on the outside while SRY was still fighting. In the meantime, Dewa United actually dealing with MDY, if I'm not mistaken. And MDY? Hello? They're finally gonna get the items that they need. They are the kill leader, and Dewa United taken aback by the strength of MDY there.
I mean, God knows how they've even managed to win out in a fight there. Maybe it was a third party, but either way, they got what they needed, and that was loot boxes. They really just needed to take over the armaments of another team here to give themselves a shot, and they've done that, and honestly, more than that, because they've got 6 kills for the team, and on top of that, you know, they're now top 6, and they're actually in a pretty damn good spot here. They've got 10 seconds. They're going to have just enough time to get themselves back up to full health as they make their way, potentially with a Skyward Dive. They do have that available, but let's see where they go from here. RTL, they are doing exactly the same. You can see their Skyward Dive for them. They've been able to just hide in that IMC armory for this entire game.
Yeah, they cleared it out, but now they have to clear out and land on top of Dreamfile while Moist Esports is peppering them with a few bullets here and there. Only 2 left, though, for Moist. Pricey already gone. Can't even be respawned by this point. They do decide to converge on the Dreamfire house. All of them here except MDY and Buriram having their own kind of duel over at Fish Farms. And for Buriram, it's all about the hold, but we're watching Voice Esports right now try to play the siege. Tap straight down to the hand of MC. There's a pylon down below. Buriram, though, able to hold things down, and they can just basically watch everyone kill each other here from Fish Farms. Buriram United in a good spot. Moist Esports down below. And as it stands, it's just going to be T4. It's going to be Dreamfire. They're all looking to just hold here between one house.
Yeah, Moist only the duo. And they're actually even popping around the ring here to try and find some extra kills. I don't know how MT comes out of that one with his life. I wouldn't be very surprised at all if the team took it back to him on the other side. But no, they're just going to try and hold it down for now. You can see that's actually T4 on the other side. They've got the Moby respawn banner there with him, but they unfortunately don't have Tap Strafe's banner, so they probably can't bring him back in. for just the moment. Moist, they've gone down. That was Dreamfire clearing some space underneath them. As you said, Buriram United on the other side looking on with glee.
Moist Esports, they tried to make a play, but the problem was RTL landed on the roof. You have the inside control by Dreamfire. You have the other end by T4. Where do you go? Absolutely nowhere. And Buriram United, I think for them, it's just time for them to get their popcorns, to just go for a few of these bot shots. They already have the red shields anyway. Instead, they're just going to look to steal those kills. But look at Dreamfire go on the outside, but we know in Storm Point, such a dangerous water to wade when you're out in the open. All the fortifications now gone. Dreamfire down to 2. Buriram still watching. They do get a few fences and the pylon online, sure. But for Dreamfire, it's still a bit of danger. Also, RTL moving on around. I believe it's going to be T4 here eliminated. Now RTL going after Buriram. 3 left here.
Dreamfire, they got their heals cancelled by the Seer, so they're in a worse position than they would have even been. Otherwise, Buriram United are going to get on top of this rock, and they are surely going to come out on top.
Oh no, Buriram is just ready for it. They've been watching, they've been waiting. They called Fish Farm their home, and now they get the biggest catch, a win on Storm Point. Well played by Buriram, and that was no passive gameplay from them. They took the opportunities, they defended the land, and they knew that they did not need to get into the mess of what was going on the opposite end.